Here's a chart of OKCash. It's the weekend and I am trying to catch up and try and see if I can crank out some of these backlogged analysis requests. This request was made by, I get a kick out of this name, Donald Trump. That's a good one. So you made it 5 different coin requests. So let me do OKCash. I don't know if I can get you all of them, but let me see if I can get you 1 or 2 of them for now. Thanks for visiting my blog. I enjoy your name, very creative. So here is OKCash, cleaned up, no markings, no nothing, so I can maybe, I always like to work with fresh, clean charts and start relabeling everything. Pain in the butt, I know, but it helps me to get additional discernments. One of those aha moments that maybe I had not seen before. So here is let me just do a very broad stroke Elliott wave count on this first. So call this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. For those of you who are new to Elliott Waves and new to my blog, welcome. I'm grateful that you've decided to come and visit my site and spend some time. And I am pretty confident it should be time well spent. My name is Hejin Lee, and I have only one objective in my blog, and that is to help and do no harm. I started in technical analysis way back in 1997. A little over 15 years ago, I then started using Elliott wave analysis, and then I started combining chart patterns with Elliott wave analysis. After 5 years, I got pretty good. After 10 years, I thought I was hotshot. Alas, now I realize and I humbly say that I'm only yet still improving. And I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned in my technical analysis career, if you will, is to be humble and to have the humility to be humble, to take my profits humbly. And that is really to me the same as saying to allow my profits to grow. In other words, to have the courage to allow my profits to grow. And the humility to know that this technical analysis is no way being close to perfect. None are. If anyone ever says they have a perfect record, don't walk, but run. Having said that, I hope to possibly use my experience to help people to help augment their due diligence in cryptos. I have met and read about a lot of bag holders from the recent ICO pump and dumpsters. They're the ones maybe I can help as well. And I'm hoping that once you visit my site, you might want to spend a little time to get to know the method. And once you do spend a little time to get an introduction to the method, and ideally to see how it is applied and how it works in generating profits, you might want to then invest a little bit of money in these two books. The Elliott Wave Principle. This is basically the basics of Elliott Wave Principle, written by Robert Prechter and his colleague Frost. Then the second book I have is Chart Pattern Recognition, Technical Analysis Stock Trends, 10th edition. These two books are highly recommended. Full disclosure, I get nothing for recommending these books. The authors get everything, as they should deserve. I only use these two books to learn myself, and I'm thinking maybe they may help you as well. So back to OKCash. I've counted 5 waves here in purple. I'm going to change it to white. There is a relationship between all 5 waves. And these waves are all related, interrelated, interweaved by a commonality of Fibonacci ratios. You've all heard of the golden ratio, 0.618. Well, that golden ratio can be found in all of our existence. Biology to physics, molecular level to the galactic levels. The spiral of a seashell is governed by Fibonacci ratios. The protein-protein enzymatic kinetic interactions are all governed by kinetic Fibonacci ratios. The vortex of our galaxies are also governed by the Fibonacci ratio. And therefore our sentiment, which is reflected in price, doesn't escape that governor Fibonacci ratio. Note how I just said that price is just a reflection of our sentiment. And we are trying to measure that reflection. There's a famous saying out there saying, "What are words but symbols of symbols? Hence twice removed from reality." So that means a lot to me. First comes, what is behind sentiment? It is thought. You can define that thought as whatever word comes to you to define it as. But there is thought, there is sentiment, which exists in duality of fear and greed. And the interaction of the fear and greed sentiments are then acted upon the price of cryptos. And that is then measured in price charts. And we use price charts to see if we can measure sentiment. Because technical analysis, like Elliott wave analysis, is the same as words, which are symbols of symbols, technical analysis, therefore, twice removed from reality as well. There is no method out there that can measure directly thought. Not that I know of. Maybe that's called a crystal ball. So no technical analysis method is perfect. which is why primarily the accuracy and the precision of any technical analysis method is primarily dependent on the analyst and not the method. So it depends on the experience that you've accumulated that allows, I think, greater precision and accuracy. And the greatest and the best experience to accumulate are failures. I have tons of failure experiences in technical analysis. And these failure experiences become better teachers than successes. The reason why I say that is because humility, one has to be humble and have the humility to know they're not perfect. Successes take you too far away from that. Failures allow you an opportunity to realize that better. So, having said that, here are 5 waves. Each wave is related to each other, but there are a set of rules. And the basic rules are this. Between 1 and 2, the bottom of wave 2 cannot equal to exceed the bottom of wave 1. No problem here. Wave 3 cannot be the shortest. Okay? Wave 1 is shorter than 3. Wave 4, the bottom of wave 4 cannot overlap with the top of wave 1. Check. Plenty of gaps here. And wave 5 simply has to have 5 subwaves of its own. Check it out. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now, the 5th wave is the longest here again, which is very common in cryptos. It's what I call the extended 5th. When you have an extended 5th wave, the retrace is going to be significant. So here's the thing. If you knew this in advance, and you bought it here, and you're counting it as you go, 3, 4, 5. 5 should end about here usually. Oh wow, 5 keeps going. This is an extended 5th. You get out and take your profits. You're not going to buy it here. Why? Extended 5th usually mean the retrace will go to about close to the prior wave 2 of a lesser degree, which is about here. And it just about touched it. So after 5 waves, there's a rule saying there's a retracement in the form of 3 waves. And we call that ABC. A, B, C. So you have 5 waves here, 3 waves down. So let me draw this out in a stick format just here so you can see better. Five waves. Always followed by an ABC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. Now, in this wave 1, wave 3, and wave 5 are subwaves. And these subwaves mean 5 waves there. Five waves here to make up wave 3. Five waves to make up wave 5. And in wave 2 and 4, there's an ABC. Why? After 5 waves, there's an ABC at every level, even in the sub-wave level. 5 waves, ABC. 5 waves, there must be an ABC. 5 waves at a higher degree of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's an ABC. So there is Elliott waves occurring at all levels, all degree of trends, all at the same time. And that's a little bit of an abstract concept that will take a little while too longer, but to me is similar to Einstein, who said that time is a figment of our imagination because there's no such thing as a linear time, because all things that we experience, see, thought, occurred in an instant. It's the same instant. We just happen to be visualizing it on a linear time scale. But quantum perspective sees it on a vertical scale, where everything all happened all at the same instant. There's no time x-axis. All happened instantaneously. And to me that is related to Elliott waves happening at all degrees of trends at the same time. Anyways, I hope that was a good introduction, and I aim to give this kind of introduction in the beginning, especially for new viewers and followers to my blog. So here we have 5 waves. What happens after 5 waves? You get an ABC correction. Voila. And I think this is a beautiful way to know and try to follow. And as we get later on, I'll get into more on the Fibonacci relationships. But I would only caution this. The Fibonacci relationships that's been established for stocks are not necessarily the exact same for cryptos. It's like trying to put two people's personality into one and calling it the same. It's not. It's not the same. Cryptos have a different personality, and I'm trying to gather data on how they vary on the Fibonacci relationships between each waves. For example, if wave 1, 2, 3 is extended 4, then wave 5 is usually equal to wave 1. And that relationship holds for cryptos as well if wave 3 is extended. But more often than not, I'm seeing wave 5 extended, just like here. And usually for wave 5, it retraces very deep. As deep as what? Prior wave 2 of a lesser degree, but I'm seeing prior wave 2 simply. More so. Very deep. So that's what I'm trying to garner and collect. I will share with you as I find more of these unique personality traits of cryptos. Let's go back to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. So what's the key question here? Is this the bottom of the correction? Well, let's check it out. So we have A, B, C. So if let's just go to here. We have A, B, C of subways for C. I'm making it a lesser degree. For an ABC, we always know there are two types of, I'm sorry, three types of corrections. There's a zigzag, which has 5 waves in A, 5 waves in C, and B is always a 3 wave. So we call this 5, 3, 5. There is also then correction called the flats. And in this regular flats, my favorite kind is called the expanded flat. And there are 3 types of flats too. Because I'm seeing this expanded flat more and more frequently. This is where B rises higher than the start of A, and C dips below the ending of A. And the subdivision of these waves is ABC. So 3, that's why they have the 3 here. B is an ABC. And C is 5. So they call it 335. This is an expanded type. Oops. Then they have the regular flat, which is A, B just about goes equal to where the start of A is, and C just about a little bit below the ending of A. And this too, let me just make it longer. Has 3, 3, and 5. Okay. Regular flats. And then there is a third type called the running flat. So the running flat is pretty rare and hard to count, hard to spot rather, not count. It has a, no, sorry, wrong one. It has a and the B exceeds the start of A, similar to an expanded flat. But it falls short and doesn't go beyond the ending of A. That's why it's hard to spot. Just make it longer. And yet, it has the same. ABC, 3, 3, and 5. Okay. Now all of this information detail are in the book, in this book. So it'll be worthwhile investing a little bit in that and learning about it. And then the key is the application, to try and apply it. I know a lot of people who can count really well, label really well. But even if their life depended on it, they couldn't even eke out a profit applying it for some reason. So learning how to label it is one thing. Recognizing it is another thing. Applying it is a real thing. Okay? And making money with it is the ultimate thing. So, this video is getting longer than I expected. So here's A, B, C. What kind of a ABC is this, do you think? Given what we just reviewed on the types of corrections. So let's look at this A. Do you see 5 waves coming here? Let me try to count. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 4 cannot overlap with the bottom of 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, but doesn't look very impulsive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's kind of forcing it, in my opinion. Just look at what's the broad outline of this. It's just as 3 wave-ish. Very 3 wave-ish. Right? Oh, come on. What about this? B has to be always 3 wave. Like this. Okay? 3. Wave C has to be always what? 5. So let's go back here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And if I take the terminal end, the last wave 5, can further subdivide that into its own subwaves. So what does this tell you? I think the correction's done. I think the correction is done. Well, what tells you that the correction is done? What is the signal? Let's zoom in here. Do I see 5 waves? One, 2, 3, 4. Does 4 overlap with the peak of 1? No way. So I might, oh shoot. And 5. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have an impulse. We have an impulse set of waves. And look at, again, another typical trait of cryptos. They'll go, it's like a hurry up and wait. That's exactly what it's doing. That's the trait I would give to cryptos. Hurry up and wait, just like the army. It hurry ups on all the impulse waves, and then it waits and just slows down as much as it can. Very lethargic on the requisite ABC correction. And this can be labeled like so. So I think we're looking at some pretty exciting moment here for OKCash. If this is the C of this correction here, we can look at, and this is what I call forward discerning. What pattern could come next? We could potentially see a rounding bottom. Like this. And cryptos love to do cup and handles, which I've already shown you in Steam, Zencash, and a whole boatload of others. Very bullish. So 1, ABC 2, and then I can do 1, 2, and pff. So I think the correction is about, if not yet, done for OKCash. What target would I give for this? So let me give rid of all this so I can project it to the future. Price pathway potential. Okay, cleaned. So let's look at this differently. Extended fifth is right here. So these waves, the white ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they become subwaves to another higher degree wave, 1. I'm just going to manually label it here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 1. And this A, B, C become subwaves for a higher degree wave, 2. Remember I told you how Elliott waves occur at all degrees of trend and time? It's what I call the begetting system. This larger 1 begets these 5 waves. This larger 2 will beget this ABC. This A will beget its subwaves of ABC. This B will beget its subwaves of ABC here as well. So if we have 1, 2, what comes next? Here was 1, here was 2. What happened? Here's 1, here's 2. After wave 2, you get wave 3. Do you see it? Do you see how the waves can be utilized? And just like wave 1 had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 3 will also go in that fashion. My rice cooker is done. I'm Korean and I have Korean rice cooker that is a pressure cooker and automates it and speaks in Korean when it's done. You might have heard it in the background. It would go something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would not be in a minuet scale. It'll be more on the minor, minute scale. Degree of trend. So, are you getting excited? I mean, Jesus, this is... And what have I said always? The best time to buy is at the end. If you want a confirmation, you just got one. 5-wave impulse. Finishing its correction, may do a rounding bottom with a cup and handle. I don't know. That's my forward discernment. It couldn't. But one thing is very probable is I have 1. I have 2. The correction is done or just about done. It may do one more dippy. Buy the dip then. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to say 3 will be about 1.618 times long as 1. I'm just eyeballing it. Using Fibonacci ratios. Target 1.32. Beautiful, beautiful chart. Fantastic counts. Absolutely exquisite. Very bullish. I hope this helps, guys. And I hope I have earned the right to ask all of you for an upvote, follow, and redeem. I'll make it very apparent. I would love to get as much visibility of my blog to as many people as possible. That way, more people can benefit from my free analysis. That would be the ultimate goal that I have. Every day my followers are increasing, which is a good thing to do. Every day the number of requests are coming in for analysis, which is also a good thing to do, good thing to see. So thank you in advance for all your follows, upvotes, and redeems.